All right. Rolling.
Fuck you, nigga. It's like that.
Very good for the intro. AP the Fighter. Hey, how's it going, man? How are you doing? Start off.
Yeah, bruh, I'm doing good. I mean, this is fight week. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm fucking happy as fuck. Like, I'm elated. Like, da-da-da. There's so much shit going on. But, you know, I'm gonna get the mission accomplished regardless, so.
Mission accomplished regardless. So, we have about 5 hours until you go and fight at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. How does it feel to be fighting not only on brand risk, but at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas? How does that feel?
To be honest, bro, like, when I was in there, like, I didn't even feel anything. And usually those are, like, some of the craziest moments because it's, like, it's unbelievable. It's, like, how am I even here? What's going on? And then I'm like, all right, let me just, like, remain present and, like, soak everything in. So, like, I didn't really feel much of anything, man. I'm not gonna lie. When I go home and all of this is finished and over and I'm reflecting, then, like, I'll be like, oh, my God, that was fucking crazy, da-da-da. But for the most part, I just try to stay as present as possible, honestly.
As present as possible. How do you feel being in Vegas? How does it feel being here, though, in a new state, a different state?
I like traveling, man. You know, fighting around the country so far and eventually around the world. It's without a doubt my dream. So I really enjoy traveling, really enjoy being able to fight in different cities. Vegas is cool. Vegas is really cool at night. During the daytime, it's hot as fuck. During the daytime, it's hot as fuck and dry as fuck and arid as fuck. So, you know, still grateful to be here and whatnot, but you do have to deal with that dry heat, man. My lips have been chapped for like 5 days. It's actually pretty crazy. But nighttime Vegas, it's awesome, bro. When they turn on those lights, it hits different. It's not like any other city.
Now, you've mentioned being a champion outside of influencer boxing, quote unquote. You kind of want to take it to the next step. Then when did you realize you wanted to pursue a career, a professional career, one trying to be a champion outside of influencer boxing?
Without a doubt, after I beat Gabe Silva. Gabe Silva is very technical, very slick, very, very skilled boxer. Obviously the son of a legend in Anderson Silva. Once I beat him, I was like, okay, dude, like, if you can beat him, you can beat a majority of people. Because I'm only gonna get better. That's literally, you know, what the deal is. I'm only gonna get better. So after I beat him, I was like, I'm getting some motion in the pro boxing scene with this influencer stuff. I'm gonna use brand risk to elevate me up into a world title.
You had mentioned before fighting Gabe Silva, you picked up the Bible and read it about 15 minutes a day. What made you do that, and how important was that, do you think, to your victory against Gabe Silva?
You know, I was walking out of Crunch, we were cutting weight or whatever, and I was just looking around again, being super present. And we were in Miami, and I was like, all right, man, like, God's blessed you, like, you know, He's blessing you beyond your wildest dreams. For you not to give God like 15 minutes a day reading the Bible, you would just be a selfish fool. I had prayed pretty much every night before that. So I was always praying every night and whatnot, but I told myself I always need to get around to reading the Bible, but the reason I never did was because I worked. Now, I mean, I haven't worked by the grace of the Lord, I haven't worked in like 5, damn near 6 months, maybe, something like that. So there's no excuse, bro. If I'm not at a job, 15 minutes a day, easy. You know what I mean? I can get that done. Because you can honestly get it done even with a job. But I was just doing so much. And I was like, once I get rid of like working at some place, then I'm going to be reading the Bible at least 15 minutes a day. As far as the importance in beating Gabe Silva, you know, people would say it's a lot. God definitely played a hand in that. But it wasn't super duper important. Like, I try not to tie the religion to the fighting and keep them separate, because regardless of win or loss in a boxing match, you should still be praying, you should still be reading the Bible, regardless. You know what I mean? It's like a separate thing. Like, reading the Bible and praying is to become more Christ-like. Like, yes, He aids me when I fight and whatnot, but like, This is like to become more Christ-like. It's not to be like the world champion. That's not why I'm like reading the Bible and praying and whatnot. So I try to keep them separate. Yes, it was. I would say it's important. Faith in God is more important when it comes to beating Gabe Silva, because you're not worried about the what ifs, like what if you get hurt, what if this happens, what if that happens. Faith is important in fights, but as far as reading the Bible, that's more so I can just eventually be as Christ-like as possible.
What are your plans after beating your opponent tonight?
I'm probably going to, I would assume they have a bar there. I would assume they have a bar. They had a bar at every other fight, so definitely gonna grab like probably a beer or two, maybe three, and then find a vape shop and get a vape, because I like smoking vapes, but I don't ever smoke them because they are obviously completely detrimental to your cardio. But like after a fight, yeah, I'll smoke a vape.
How did you and Abdrick, the one that's going to be in your corner tonight, how did you guys meet? What's your origin story with that?
Let me think for a sec, because I want to see if I can actually remember the exact moment. I don't think I remember the exact moment. It might have been the earliest memory I have of this dude, honestly, is it was like Halloween, and I was trick-or-treating with a group of other kids in the neighborhood, and he was involved, like he was in the group that I was trick-or-treating around the neighborhood with. After that, I would assume we just started palling it up. We'd walk laps in the morning, like around the school. We'd ride the afternoon bus together and fucking bully people and get bullied. Shit, man. For a while, I honestly left the school that he was at, and we didn't keep in too tight of contact. But then, actually no. There was actually a huge part of time that I'm missing when I lived in the Brook, because Avery lived close to the Brook. So he would sometimes come to the north side and play basketball. He wasn't always there, but he would sometimes come. So he was always in the vicinity, with us being at the same school and whatnot. But after I changed high schools, we didn't talk for a while. And then I started boxing in my city, and he went to a college that had a boxing team. He was like, bro, you might as well come up here and we can just, box, learn how to box, try to win a national championship. College is really where the memories were more solidified, just because, I was older and I was seeing him every day at that point, partying and boxing and doing all the stuff that college kids do and whatnot. And then after school, after college was over, we were like, all right, we might as well buckle down on trying to become world champions in our respective martial arts. So that led us to this point.
Interesting to hear. That's a perfect segue for what I'm going to ask next. And how was growing up? And what kind of community were you in when you were growing up? I'd say from the ages of 5 to 15 when you were an adolescent. What was that like?
It was cool, man. I mean, people would probably look at my life and be like, damn, that fucking sucked. But I try to remain as grateful as possible. We were always moving houses because we were getting evicted and whatnot. I didn't grow up with any kind of money. My parents, they tried as best as they could to keep a roof over our head and food on the table. And from age 5 to about 10, it was cool. Then unfortunately, my mother fell hard into drug addiction. Into opioids. She had a surgery done on her stomach, and after the surgery was over, the doctors just kept prescribing her pain medication. There was some sort of thing with that went down in 2008 or something, where doctors were over prescribing people and whatnot. She got caught up in that. So my dad kind of had to hold the household together. You got one parent working. My dad's already a diabetic, so he's not even working to the best of his ability. Things just started to fall apart, essentially. We left the suburban area that we lived in. We had to move to the hood, move to the projects, bounced from house to house to house to house to house in the projects. I mean, you're dealing with roaches, bed bugs, mice, and shit in those homes. And then obviously the fucking people, I don't mean to sound like I don't like my own race and whatnot, but when you're living in the hood, it's a high stress, high cortisol environment, man. Your cortisol is getting spiked. Like, you got people trying to fight over the smallest bullshit. You bruise their ego in any kind of way. People are trying to fight. People are trying to kill you over that shit. Kill you. Like, end your life. It's absolutely insane. You know, our women, like, they're cooked. Like, they're absolutely cooked. Like, bro, and I'll give you an example. And because I'm not just talking on my ass. I'm literally not just talking on my ass. I'm in school, high school, probably 10th grade. Sitting in my 10th grade classroom. This chick barges in the fucking room, loud as fuck, says, "I'm not dating no nigga if you don't got no felonies." Like, bro, that's like how some of these motherfuckers stink. Like, no cap. Like, that's literally how some of these motherfuckers stink. Like, it's so, they got us so cooked. The system has us so cooked. So, growing up there was just, it was wild. What I will say was nice about it was there was a lot more freedom. Because there was no structure, there was a lot of freedom. Central Dauphin, suburban area, a lot of structure. You know what I mean? When you're living in the hood, there's no structure. It's a free-for-all. People are coming in and out of class. People are leaving the school, coming back to the school, doing this, that, and the third. So as a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old, it was kind of fun because there was no structure. But there being no structure, you were liable to get into a fight at any point in time. I've seen people just sitting, talking, eating lunch. All of a sudden, somebody just walks up and just, boom, steals them. There's a fight right there. People getting shot, gunshots going off, like crazy shit. So I knew I had to get the fuck out of there, and that's when, you know, Avery saw me applying for different colleges and whatnot. He was like, "Yo, you might as well come up here and box." And leaving was one of the greatest decisions I ever made because it just expanded my horizons. You know what I mean? So leaving was great. But that's like the synopsis of, you know, my past as far as growing up.
Interesting to hear. You've mentioned before as well, at one point you were addicted to substances around the age of 22, 23.
Correct.
Explain that version of your life, explain that time in your life, and explain the distinction between that AP the Fighter, that Anthony Proctor, and versus you now in 2026 fighting in Las Vegas.
Yeah, man. You know, it was extremely interesting. You know, people would say, "Oh man, it was the worst thing ever." Da da da. And yeah, it was bad for sure. But I like to use the word interesting, because on one hand, I'd be lying if I said that Percocets didn't make you feel like a god. They literally make you feel invincible. They make you feel like you can do anything. But the double-edged sword to that is once that Percocet wears off, you need it. You need it again, you need it again, you need it again, and when you don't have it, you feel absolutely terrible. I was in college, probably like freshman, sophomore year. I was kind of trying to find myself. I was looking for like love and chicks, and that shit was fucking miserable. Don't do that. Like, focus on yourself. That's what I learned from that. And when I started focusing on myself, once I learned, hey, let me put my attention on myself. You know, I got a little bit of swag, started dressing better, things like that, and you know, started making money outside of a 9-to-5. And making that money outside of a 9-to-5 is what led me into like partying a lot. I was partying like, bro, like out of a 7-day week, we might go all 7. You know, I was partying like 5-6 days a week, just on repeat. COVID hit. There was nothing to do, so like it just exacerbated the whole thing. I would wake up at like 2 p.m., start drinking, go swim, get out of swimming and drinking, and then just party all night. You know what I mean? With whatever substances, Molly, Percocets, cocaine, like whatever. You know what I mean? So you know, that left me like addicted to these substances, and it got to the point where I lost all my money. I lost my car. My house was destroyed because I would get high and just break shit in my room at a certain point. Before it was all fun and games, but at some point along the line, it like altered the wiring of my brain to where I would get high and just start like fucking tweaking. Breaking shit in my crib. I'd wake up with blood all over the walls. My toilet didn't work, sink didn't work, you know, like I was pissing in jugs, leaving them in the corner of the rooms. It was fucking bad. And then I had to end up moving in with my parents, which was the greatest thing that actually ended up happening because I got separation from that whole, like the connections to the drugs, you know, the plugs and the people I was doing the drugs with. I got separated completely. And I made the decision after my last OD I was like, all right, man, like, you are genetically blessed. Like, I can get in shape in 2 weeks. If I never work out again, I can get in shape in 2 weeks. You need to use this blessing to the best of your ability. What have you been doing over the past couple of years? Fighting. You know, I'm not going to say I didn't have any skills because I was dabbling in social media at the time, but fighting was definitely the main front runner, is what people pretty much like knew me for. So I was like, I'm diving in headfirst with that. Once I got out of the hospital, after my last OD, I was in the gym 2-3 times a day, all week. My family started calling me Mr. Can't Sit Still, because I would literally walk in the house, shower, eat, and then walk back out the house to go do something else productive. And then, like I said, I was dabbling in social media, so I started pouring everything into social media, and I lost my Instagram account, my old one. It was called This Is Anth. And when I lost that, I was like, this is cool. I'm gonna restart and go fresh with the fighting, which made Apthefighter. I made the handle right then and there, like 3 years ago. So that's pretty much how that came about, was really the addiction. It just pulled the veil like off of my eyes, as far as, if you want something, the simple thing is to, go and work towards that thing every single day. You hear it all the time, but it takes something like an addiction and like losing your life and being embarrassed in front of all your friends and all your family and all this kind of stuff to really get it,
Interesting story. Recently on Twitter, you were on a call with Aiden Ross and you were doing a face-to-face with your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
In the background of your room, there was a flag. There was an Israeli flag. And you had pointed it out. Actually, Aiden pointed it out. And you got the flag, and you made a comment that you just had the flag, there. And you got a lot of backlash from it. A lot of hate.
For sure.
It amassed thousands and tens of thousands of impressions on Twitter. And people are calling you a Zionist. People are calling you a Jew. People are saying you're an evil piece of shit. Now, what is your response to the people first? Because we want to get into what you believe, but what is the response to those individuals first off?
Hey man, I mean, it's just a lot easier to, say what I shouldn't do, and who I shouldn't be, and as a black man, you should know better, and this, that, and the third. It's a lot easier to criticize from the sidelines, is my point being. There's nobody's in my position. It's crazy being in this position. It's literally insane. When you're not doing anything, when you have no skin in the game, when you're chilling, playing the game, smoking weed, whatever, it's so easy to just type on a keyboard and say this, that, and the third. I don't hate these people. I really don't. I don't feel any kind of way towards these people. I've had people say, I should kill myself. I've had multiple people say, please kill yourself on my ex, and throughout Instagram and whatnot. And I have absolutely no disdain towards these people. Like I said, I'm trying to be as Christ-like as possible. So that's my answer to them, really. It's no hard feelings, guys.
Are you a God-fearing man?
Yeah, for sure, bruh. Without a doubt.
What advice would you give people who want to take boxing serious, whether it's people getting into it now, like maybe someone at your age, in the late 20s, or even a kid?
Just be prepared, man. It's not easy. Like, I could tell you right now, I don't know how I got here, boxing on Aiden Ross's brand risk. Like, I could tell you, boxing every day and posting on social media and whatnot, but there are specific things that had to line up so perfectly, like so flawlessly, for me to end up here in Vegas, about to fight in the UFC Apex in front of Aiden Ross, Dana White, today, in a couple hours. Sorry, I just geeked because I remembered that. Today in a couple hours, man. So it's like, I would just say, if you want to box, stay in the gym and post on social media. That's what I would say, to keep it simple. And it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. You will not see results tomorrow, next year, the year after, or maybe even 3 years from now. It might take 4 or 5 years for you to get some big fight. You know what I mean? So don't expect results tomorrow. But if you really want to do it, you're willing to put in that kind of time and effort.
What are your final predictions for the fight tonight against your opponent?
I don't see the fight going past 3 rounds. I see myself knocking him out. I want to knock out cold. I want him to be knocked out like cold, or at least like a knockout. If he's not gonna be out cold, flat on his face, at least like a knockout to where I knock him down bad enough, like to Minicon, where he was like struggling to get up and then just can't like get up in that 10 seconds. Because when they get up in the fucking 10 seconds and then the ref waves it off anyway, I lose a whole bonus because it's considered a TKO. So it's like I basically knocked you out. You couldn't even continue anyway. So my prediction, second round knockout, and then I walk out of there with that bonus, man.
Interesting. What are your thoughts on Tskworld? What are your thoughts on that guy?
I think he's a total fucking loser. It's like nah. It's like nah. Tech, man, you know, he's done nothing but be an aid, and he's been, I'm trying to think of the word. He's been a tool. I don't misuse people, but I myself like to be used properly, and people around me are used as tools with the respective skills. Tech is good with tech, cameras, social media, things like that. And I mean, even besides that, you know, he's willing to, you know, run and get stuff if necessary, carry certain things when I don't even ask him to. You know what I mean? He's very good at anticipating needs. So I have nothing but good things to say about Tech. And it's kind of interesting because when I got into the scene, we were kind of at each other's throats for whatever reason. It was like, I think I said he like sucked because he fought Pascal or something, blah, blah, blah. I can't even remember because so much has happened over this time. But, you know, now he's a solid member of, you know, what we got building over here, man. Nothing but good things to say about Tech.
And what would you say to all your supporters and also all the people at Brand Rest that put you in this position? I know you put yourself in this position, but all the people who, of course, people like Jordan Galen, people like Aiden Ross, that gave you this opportunity. What would you say to all those people?
Hey, man, I got nothing but love and respect for those individuals. You know, my life has literally changed through developing some sort of relationship with Jordan, Galen, and Aiden Ross. So when people get to all this, oh, you're a black man owned by a Jew bullshit, never really phases me, man, because like these guys have significantly changed my life. And with every win, which I'm going to get later today, with every win, with every knockout, shit just gets crazier. So I mean, all you guys can, you know, you can keep hating and whatnot, but you know, you're just gonna keep watching me climb. You're gonna keep watching me ascend, man.
Yeah, be the fighter. Thank you for the interview.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What's up? Good shit, man.
I do the intro real quick.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, you too, bro.
We're about to interview AP the Fighter here in Las Vegas. He's fighting tonight. It's literally 2 o'clock. It's 2 p.m. Go. Also got to get bro over here to ask a few questions real quick. But tune into the fight tonight. Brand Risk 14. What's your opponent's name?
Ethan Stern.
Some fat guy. Ethan Stern versus AP the Fighter. AP the Fighter versus Ethan Stern, rather. Tune in tonight to watch a crazy fight, crazy knockout. And thank you for all the support, by the way. All my real niggas keeping it real, holding shit down all across the USA. I mean, you know what it is. So, hey, getting close to making it, you know?
Nah, bro, this angle's crazy.
Let her hop in the beam, it's enormous. And she fuck with the view, say it's gorgeous. Fuck around, drop 50 on foreigns. I just hopped on the straight, it's glorious. I just hopped on the road, I'm hoarding. I can only hear money like Horton. I might hop in the track, I'm floored. Bad bitches who wanna make pornos. New beam, you're the one with photos. Fuck you, I don't want no photos. He can't even do my numbers with promo. Wearing them out, something like